everybody. Welcome back to a great weekend coming of sports, especially NFL football. But we want to talk to the folks, let them know what's going to go on next Saturday. It's the driving event
for voting. Got to vote. Yeah, right here. We're doing it right here at Midtown Bar and Grill. And what starts at 4 o'clock?
4 to 8, John.
Registration.
Sure, registration. I haven't done it yet, so maybe we can.
I'm going to do it too.
Yeah,
I
so
have to be here, Chris. So I'll be here doing it. And
we'll
then happy hour starts. What time did it hit? That's
4 to 8,
what I'm interested
4 to 8, and of course you want to stay. Well, right after 4 to 8 event.
Yeah.
You want to stay for the happy hour, which is somewhere around 8 o'clock. So,
I'm staying for happy hour.
And we're going to have jazz music. We're going to have special guests, John, while we're here next Saturday.
All right.
We're going to have art event.
Event?
Yeah, we're going to have a cultural event here
Midtown
at
Bar and Grill.
Yes,
all right, which is on West Gray, close to downtown, close to Midtown. That's why it's Midtown Bar and Grill.
Right here on West Gray, guys, and you're all invited. Hopefully you guys can make it. And don't feel bad. We're all going to be here. I like this place. I like the.
Oh, this is awesome. I think they can come upstairs.
We got fall weather coming, so you know what? We're going to have a great day.
Vince, they got a show going on when this is going on. Can people come upstairs and watch?
Yeah, you're invited.
Vince
to come
is
watch
shaking
the
his
show.
head. Our producer's shaking his head over there.
And we're going to have live show downstairs also, John.
You can come on up and see this great place here. It's really nice up, and got a bar downstairs, a nice outdoor cafe if you want to be outside. Highly recommended. And they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In fact, I didn't have my breakfast yet, so as soon as I get done here,
have some
11 o'clock, we'll have breakfast. Let's talk sports, Chris.
Yes, John, of course. We just heard it. It just came down the stream, John. City officials are talking to Houston Texans. We will have fans in the stands right around October the 4th versus the Vikings, guys. So you will be able to purchase tickets real soon for that. Cousins, John,
game
will be in town for that game. Just heard that. For this weekend, there will be no tailgating, John. Game starts at 3:25 today. Sunday, this Sunday. And it will be against, of course,
the Baltimore Ravens.
That's right. Lamar Jackson come to town.
And bad news, Chris. Bad news.
What's bad news?
Lamar Jackson's getting better. Highest passer rating.
Wow.
And I'm listening to some people that know something about quarterbacking. Mr. Sterner. And he said he just watched one half. Stoner, I shouldn't say that. He's a lot bigger than me. I can't be saying that. But evaluation, he saw one half of him. And his evaluation is he's gotten better. And also the rating, quarterback rating, he had the highest passer quarterback rating. So we got that to contend with.
Right.
I don't know, Chris. How you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling that definitely between this game and, of course, the fourth game of the season, which is the home game, where we're going to have fans in the stands. I think we're not going to win till possibly that fourth game.
All the fans get in there?
Right. So all fans get in there, right.
So you're somebody that feels like the fans really have something to do with the football game.
Right. I think that if you play in an empty stadium, if you look at the J.J. Watt effect, he comes in, he has a little show, even before the pregame. Hi to the kids, hugs the kids, takes photos with the kids, high five the kids. Won't be able to do that. You don't have any kids, John. So that takes a little bit away from the game.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, J.J. Watt.
Texans.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I always speak over.
Go ahead.
All right, but J.J. Watt, he was on a interview, some of his interviews. He's kind of ticked off. He used a couple bombs in his interview. Even somebody asked him about his charities and how they're doing after they got their butts kicked in the Kansas City game.
Wow.
I don't think he liked that too much. He was throwing some F-bombs around really bad. I never heard JJ do that, and then even just Masters, it's the best 8 players in the world. Andy Roddick's up there, and I really didn't see the match. I'd been to a concert, watching this concert, and I get in the room, and Andy got blown away by Leighton Hewitt. I mean, it was like an hour match, and I sat down in the stands to watch like the last couple games, and it was over. 6-2, 6-3, Andy's mad. Go in there, and I wanted to talk to him about something about the last match. I saw him hit some good volleys, and like I said, I know Andy, so I'm pretty comfortable, even though all the big shots are in the room. It was one of my first time years and years ago in this press conference, and I asked him about, are you volleying better? And he's like, well, what are you talking? I said, well, the other day I saw you hit this great volley against Sappin, and he just takes his head and goes, honk. Right. You don't do that. You
Yeah.
can't talk about something in the
Specific
Right.
arena. Right.
He wants to know about that match right there. Sitting there, and I'm talking to Mac about all this other stuff, except for his match that evening with the Legends Invesco Series Tour, which we covered. We're going to cover more of that.
We're going to cover that again, John. And some of the things that go on in a press conference right before a press conference should be about your practice. It should be about your play. It should be about what's going on the field. I really when I've covered the Texans and I've asked and I've interviewed, I don't go off the field, John.
Right.
Because I seem to think that borders on your personal life. I try to stay away from that.
Right.
When I interviewed J.J. Watt or interviewed Coach or interviewed Andre Johnson,
we veer away from the personal.
We talked football. We didn't talk, hey, how was your weekend? Did you go to that specific bar that you usually go to? Did you go to that specific restaurant? That's a no-no. And
sometimes, but on radio, like we're doing right now, a lot of people like to hear that sometimes. They like to see a personal side to you. I get used to that. I don't, I called in the other day, some radio stations talking to the guys, and I kind of, and you get to know them. Some people you don't like, and then somehow starting to like, as long as they're smart and they do their homework. Not like us,
Right.
No,
but
John,
I mean, I
listen.
The one thing I try to do,
yeah,
and when I first met you, and I try to educate you in what we do.
You got me in this business.
And I got you in doing this. Is you don't want to be a fan of someone else.
That's
you want to be a fan of John Foster and this show. Right. That's what you want to be. Okay. So I try not to say, "Hey, John, don't call that show," but concentrate on what we're building here.
Well, sometimes I get mad. These guys talk about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they were talking about the Texans, and I had to put in my 2 cents.
Yes.
And it's like they were really – I got some stats for you, okay, Texans fans.
Well, we're facing a team, John.
Huh?
That scored 5 touchdowns.
Right. Well, let me give you some stats that I was listening. I didn't write them down. I'm just going to throw these off the top of my head for you. But this is very interesting. In the last 22 games, the Houston Texans, on their first drive, they haven't scored a touchdown.
Since
22 games. 22 times.
Their 9th game, 2018.
Right. Okay. There you go. Add up. Do the math. Now, there was 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, and 30% of the time, over 30% of the time, it's 3 and out.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, here's a stat that I got that's very interesting, and I think some people said it's more important than anything. There's a lot of stats that don't mean anything, but this means a lot. Per yards per carry or per play, okay? Right. Now, the Texans, were averaging on first down, just on their first possession when they get the ball, the first time, 22 games, they haven't scored. It's 3.1 yards per play, carry, pass, whatever. That's the average on their, The worst team in the NFL, the worst team, not in the bottom, for the year. There's what do you think the per yards per play is for the worst team in the NFL? It's
got to be the Texans.
It's 4.1.
4.1
average for a season. Just to give you an idea how bad 3.1 is.
Well, right
now,
it's
really
John,
bad.
They're probably if you divided the teams in the season, you're looking at possibly the Texans being number 16, 17, 18 in the NFL. Not really the top half. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So we're playing the first 3 games of this season. You're playing teams that are in the very first half. Probably the first 1 through 10.
Oh, it's the worst. Ranked. Yeah, we got the 7 out of the 8 teams we play, Chris. We very might wind up 0-5, 0-6, 0-7.
And that was my prediction at the beginning of the season, John.
It's not looking good. If that happens, BOB is going to be in hot water, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, he's got a lot of investment in the offensive line. He's let some people go. He's brought in some people. By the way, how did DeAndre Hopkins do last week? He caught the first 4 or 5 passes. Okay. Now I like this one. This was I was listening. They were cracking up today.
Oh my God,
they were cracking up today.
Right.
They were cracking up. You know why? I can see Bill O'Brien sitting down with his guy, and they're talking to say, you know what, we can do better next year. We need to trade that guy DeAndre Hopkins. Let's trade him, and then we'll bring in, and that's our problem.
Well,
we're not getting first
better,
down
John.
because we need to trade DeAndre. Let's trade Hopkins.
It doesn't get better because we're going to face.
That's what we need to do.
Right.
We're running the Texans. You know what? We got to sit down and have a meeting and say, let's trade DeAndre Hopkins. That's going to help us out.
He's been wrong every year, and I've been right every year.
Yep.
He needs to listen to me.
All right.
What do you think, John?
I think so. Okay. Well, we're going to take a little break from the edge here.
There are simple, affordable, and natural ways to help build your immune system to fight any virus or bacteria now, and it starts inside of you. That's why I need to invite you to join me for Beyond the Mask, an intimate talk about vital ways to immediately begin boosting your immune system. Are you worried about the potentials of a second wave? Are you concerned now that your immune system may not be strong enough? Let me show you now the changes that will allow you to optimize it. Let me show you how to maximize your exercise benefits in a 12-minute routine that you'll do every other day to easily increase your metabolism, strengthen your respiratory and immune systems, and give you better circulation throughout your body. Listen, sugar feeds both bacteria and viruses. Let me show you ways to kick that sugar addiction now and get some weight off. Let me share with you keys to better nutrition that boosts your immune system. We are all under too much stress, and stress weakens your immune system. It single-handedly leaves you vulnerable to all kinds of health issues and infections because stress reduces your immune cell numbers and their ability to function. Let me show you tools that you'll easily integrate into your daily life now to naturally reduce your stress cortisol response. I also want you to know about some nutritional supplements that have been shown to naturally improve your immune system and your overall health. Since January, there have been over 700 studies released worldwide on the relationship between COVID-19 and vitamin D3 deficiency. You need to know why. You want to improve your own immune defenses now? Want to take back your control? Sign up today for Beyond the Mask and join me as I give you information and tools to easily get you back on track towards a healthier overall immune system now.
Guys, welcome back to the Sports Network. John, of course, we're going to find out in a couple of weeks, talking Texans, Ravens, and also we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins with the Cardinals, of course, the big trade, the big sell-off, and we got 3 receivers for DeAndre Hopkins, and of course, we were talking that Hopkins, of course, over the first game had 38 yards on 13 catches, John.
DeAndre Hopkins actually did exactly what our whole receiving core did. You know, the bad thing is, Chris, the bad thing is Bill O'Brien going into the press conference and saying that the offense wasn't that bad. And then what's worse is Deshaun Watson goes in and says the same thing. Now, the garbage touchdowns that they got at the end was because they had a prevent defense and the game was over, okay? Where did he miss that? That's what I want. Where did O'Brien? Now, Deshaun Watson, I'm going to give it to him. Deshaun Watson isn't going to go back on his coach yet, but there's going to come a time, and I agree.
There is.
I heard somebody saying this, and so it's not mine, but I agree 100% that there's going to be another time. There's going to come a time where he's going to say, look, you know, because right now he sounds like Bill O'Brien up there. And he got it verbatim, boom, 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 boom. I mean, he did him a big favor. He gave him this contract. But time's going to come where he goes, you know what, this is garbage, and I've had enough, and this and this and this. Because he's a smart guy. He's really smart.
I'm just really surprised by DeAndre Hopkins' comments about that. Well, I distributed the ball well. We did. I think we did all right. And for a leader that, you know, supposed leader of a football team, of an offense, John, I am very, very disappointed. And Bill O'Brien, I don't know what game he was coaching in.
Well, obviously he was calling the plays also. It wasn't Tim Kelly. It was a Bill O'Brien offense over and over and over again,
we
except
had
for maybe the
promises.
first possession.
We had promises of a different offense, John.
Right. It
Had
didn't
promises
happen.
Of
Not
touchdowns on
happening.
the first drive, and it didn't happen, John.
You know, a lot of
This next game
Yeah.
versus the Ravens,
yeah.
guess what? If they want to stay in the game, they're going to have to score a touchdown first possession.
Now,
John.
here's the one thing that Bill O'Brien does very well. He's going to come back and play good in this game. I would predict that. And a running back usually, and a defense that's outstanding.
You
now
know what,
we
John? That's a recipe for self-destruct because we don't know the ins and outs of his contract as a general manager, but if there are certain guarantee clauses and bonuses if we lose or win this season, I mean, what are we looking? Who do we have in there? Is he compromising our win-lose season?
Well, I'll tell you, it's make or break. So we're gonna see, and you really you got to put it on the ownership. You got to put it on the ownership. When you have the talent that he's invested in, the offensive line, Deshaun Watson, the running backs, he's paying them top dollar, wide receivers, we got a bunch of them. So it's got to work. It's got to work. It didn't work this time. Now, I'll give him this. We didn't have a preseason, so there, we've got time. But still, everybody else in the NFL, if you were to pick a couple of teams that were not ready to play on Thursday, well, we played on Thursday, but on Sunday, the Texans look like the worst team, one of the worst, one of the top three on the bottom, not on the top.
And of course,
not prepared, not ready to go.
Last night, the Bengals lost to the Browns, and the
Browns,
what
a good game!
The Browns were killed by the Ravens last week,
right.
5 touchdowns.
Well, the quarterback for Cincinnati threw 60 passes.
Wow.
And no interceptions. What a great job. What a great job. And I heard somebody on the air today who's very famous knocking him. Well, he didn't win. Yeah, you're a rookie in your second game, you throw 60 passes, you don't get intercepted. There's a future there.
Was that Burrows?
That's Burrows. Yeah, yes. Burrows. Unbelievable.
Burrows, of course, John. Yeah,
good stuff, man. He didn't look flustered. He stood in the pocket. I mean, this guy's
John,
a winner.
I think it's okay to lose as long as you tried your best and you looked your best.
No, but he played good, Chris. He not only he didn't look good, but you can see somebody with composure. It's amazing. These kids nowadays coming out like this, like when Deshaun Watson and Burrows.
If you get a loss like the Texans had, and you have these weapons, you've been in the league for this is your third year, and you supposedly have a GM, you have a new offensive coach, new defensive coach, and you're brand spanking new this year, regardless of what's happened in the preseason, which they didn't have. Guys, you should be motivated. You should be happy. You should be moving. You should be winning. And we didn't see that. Well, and let's just say you didn't win. You lost honorably. That didn't happen. That's what happened with the Bengals. And not a great team. And, of course, Baker Mayfield, not a great quarterback for the Browns. But are we a Baker Mayfield team, or are we closer to a Ravens team? We'll find out this weekend.
Cleveland has the best 1-2 punch in the running backs. Chubbs and Hunt. And Hunt. Unbelievable. These guys, yeah. Huh?
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll see this Sunday who we closer image. Do we closer image the Browns, or are we going to closer image the Ravens this weekend?
The secret,
we're going to find out.
The secret, Chris, is going to be in the trenches, on the offensive line and the defensive line. Against the Chiefs, they were blowing us 4 or 5 feet off the ball, right. Chris. They were killing us. We weren't physical. And it was because of the preseason. I don't know if the Chiefs, which probably so, they probably had a lot more contact and a lot less Zoom meetings. And they had that work where, and even JJ, I think that's why he's so mad. He didn't get the work in. He wasn't out there. He wasn't pushing and shoving. It takes you a little pushing and shoving to get your game back.
Right. John.
If I always compare it kind of to tennis, but I mean, in tennis tournaments, when you play a tennis tournament, like the Grand Slams, you see people play the Grand Slams. That's why you have 3-4 tournaments leading up to that, like the clay court, the French Open's going to go on. Those are practice tournaments leading up to that French Open. You're playing your best. You're looking to play best in the French Open.
Fine-tuning, John.
Fine-tuning. You might even be working on some things getting there. Other people are just trying to get through the tournament too. But the better guys, they might be fine-tuning some stuff. So the sliding, totally different game. So French Open coming up soon, but we got basketball going on too, Chris.
Right, John. We got some basketball. We got some baseball.
Yeah.
And, those are some of the things we're going to cover But yes, John. How the Astros doing?
The Astros. Well, they're hanging in there. The other day, Carlos Correa got hit. Hopefully, that's not too serious. I haven't heard about that. He fouled the ball off his leg, and he couldn't finish the at bat. Wow. So I guess they carried that. They had to help him off the field. So that's a big factor. He's one of the guys that is hitting. Altuve's back. Bregman's back. So they're getting their lineup back. I haven't heard about Verlander yet. The pitching's been good, but you don't know. It's all new pitching, so we don't know. These guys haven't been to the World Series. We don't have our. It's interesting what you said, Chris, about maybe the league didn't want to give the Astros a pitcher. They were beating us, and everybody was going to be hot on us. Well, the general man, everybody, they cheated, which it's a whole nother story. I think there's more to this that we'll find out in the future, like the tapes that the Yankees and this and that, and then that'll blow up. I don't know if it'll be in next year or 10 years from now or when they write the books. But anyway, they're hot on us. And I believe that you're right. They probably wanted to do a deal. You can't lose your top starting pitcher and your best closer and then not pick somebody up and expect to play the World Series with the team that we have. The Bregman and the Altuve,
trade line and picking up waiver lines and picking up somebody for the postseason. That time came and went already, right, John?
Brantley.
We can't get anyone. So were we allowed?
Nobody
to get
would
that
trade.
now?
I like what you said. Yeah. Nobody wanted to trade.
Nobody wanted to work with us.
I believe that more than we didn't go after somebody.
Now, is that punishment at all for what happened?
That's what. But that was your idea. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So
I think so too, John. I mean, look at it this way: if we're all playing, you find out that hey, you were being less than honest, and now we're in postseason with COVID and whatnot. How about we don't help you? We don't give you
right. Nobody wants to help you out.
Or a closer that you need.
Nobody
wants to help.
Nobody wanted to help out the Astros.
No, the Astros. Yeah, sorry.
Well, anyway, so they're okay. They're still 5-6 games up, and I think they'll be all right. We're going to get into the playoffs. I don't think we have a championship caliber, to win the World Series team with your starting pitcher and your starting. Yeah, I'm sorry. You a lot of times it comes down to one. Not at the top of their game. Hopefully they can be.
Well, they're not gelling and they're not hot right now.
It's going to take a miracle.
They're not gelling. They're not hot right now. Right. The chemistry is definitely not there. So yeah, I would say if they do go postseason, it'll be one and done, and it's not going to be pretty. John.
No. So one and done. You think so? I think they might get through somebody. It depends.
Second round?
Yeah, I think they get second round. Well, we'll see. You never know. It depends on who gets hot. And this is closing out the season here. Very important that the bats start, socking that ball and the pitchers start, tuning in. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. We got a team that unless something drastic happens, we're going to be in the playoffs with the new format.
On the Astros,
thanks to the new format.
Little known the Astros tonight, of course. They're going to be doing some announcing finally for the Houston Astros, but they're going to be doing it in Espanol. I have forgotten 1,000% to do our show in Spanish. So the Astros will be announcing on the new scoreboard that they have, John.
This is new?
It's super, it's lighted and whatnot. They're going to unveil it today, and you're going to be able to see it. And they're going to have Spanish
I'm going to have to listen in.
Yes, sir, you will.
I'm going to listen to some Spanish Astro play. Is that a radio station that's covering that? Who's covering that?
I believe it's all the Spanish channels for sure. Right. I don't know who's covering on radio.
All right.
Radio would be in Spanish also. Maybe maybe 7:40 a.m. I believe.
I don't know.
That's usually where they show up on 7:40 a.m.
So
now you were talking Lakers, John.
Lakers, oh man,
basketball.
Basketball. I'm excited. I'm really excited about watching these two conference championship games going on. Boston, they're down 0-2. 0-2. Miami Heat, they're coming on strong. Larry Butler, he's doing it. He's a man on fire. Really showing up and proving that he's a world class, right up there with everybody. Miami Heat might be doing it. How would that be? The Miami Heat against LeBron,
we talked about that, John.
Angeles.
We were talking about that.
I got a take for you.
Pretty good, John.
I really like Denver. It's going to be interesting. This Joker, this
Joker.
guy is 7 foot tall. He can't jump and he can't move, and he's just in total control out there. I really believe it's going to be interesting. I want to see how they handle him. I know they're going to throw a few people on him maybe to keep him under control, but he's just in control, man. He delivers the pass, stands there in the middle of the floor. He doesn't make mistakes. He reminds me of which I never really watched a lot of Larry Bird, but a Magic Johnson. I used to watch the way he can deliver the ball over his back, under, behind, and they're precise passes. He's not. It's not a Stephen Curry mistake at the end of the game 7, where you lose the game 7 because of a bad pass.
No, I did watch Larry Bird in those days, John, and he was very precise, man.
Very precise.
Larry Bird, he would not. Would not.
Did he do all those over the back, under?
He would do some of those where he's dribbling.
Yeah.
He's going to the basket, and he would just go like that, and he's no look.
Yeah, no look. No, this guy's got it all.
John,
and he can shoot too.
John Bird was almost
7-footer.
You couldn't make a mistake with him.
Denver has a good. They might have a shot here, So we'll see if LeBron and they take over. They just might take over LA.
Just so the folks know that, John.
Boston's not out of it yet.
Yeah,
Boston is not out of it. So,
wow.
But a lot of people were kind of counting them out. Down 2-0 in the series, and they were fighting a little in the locker room. That when they were trying to, anyhow, it was in house and. Not a big deal, some people say, but it was evident, even on the court, leaving the game, they weren't happy, very upset. And so the unity, they're going to have to get that back together.
Now, John, there's a few things that I wanted to go over with you. I wanted to ask you, or two, or maybe themselves, they want to play better tennis, John. And I know the ambidextrous tennis is something you've been working on for the past 10 years. What would you have them do, John?
Well, I would have them call John Foster.
And what number is that?
JohnFosterTennis.com at 832-623-0994 and talk to me about training your kid or getting even advice. There's not a lot of coaches that do what I do, but I do it more in a healthy, developing an athlete, building an athlete, so their body grows up even. If your kid's playing tennis and they're only using one arm, they do it from 6 to 10 years old, they're going to be malaligned and you can't fix it. Their bones are bigger, their muscles are bigger. Just something I'm throwing out there.
Definitely here on The Edge, John, we can give the parents, their kids, the edge in any sport. Right. If they listen to Edge Radio, they will be informed about the things they need to do to get better, and who they need to call to do better, John.
Now, you're big on soccer. There's one thing I tell their kids to do. Cross-train your kids. 10 and under, they should be playing basketball. They should be playing soccer. They should get some baseball. I would do everything. And then you find out what they like, and then you go that way. But the main thing is, if you're serious about your kid doing anything, it's all about the coaching, okay? And you don't have to guess on the coaching. Just look up what the coach has done, see what he's done in the past, and that's what he's going to do here.
Sure.
If you got a coach and you want your kid to play college tennis, and that coach never has coached college tennis, or a player that's made it to college tennis, good luck, okay? He's trying to reinvent the wheel. And there's coaches that do it and coaches that don't.
And most of all, guys, if you're paying your coach, let him coach. Parents, please let your coach your child.
That's true anyway.
Guys, John, we've run out of time. John, looks like we're at the end of our show.
Yeah.
That's right. Want to remind everybody to come to the Drive and Vote event. That is next Saturday, September 26th,
When's
John.
happy hour? 6 o'clock, I'm going to be here. Well, you can come at 4.
All right, guys. Global Sports Network. Chris Fernandez, John Foster.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Next week.